the cloud. You're recording. I'm making you the host. So now on the bottom of your Zoom, you should be able to click share your screen.
Okay, and now I can choose which one. Okay.
Yep. So just share your desktop, then you can switch back and forth to whatever tabs you want. Hey, Mandy.
Hi. Sorry, I didn't realize I was in the.
No, you're good. There he is.
Okay, wait. So let's do this though. Click into oopsie, not file, desktop. Okay, undo that. Desktop, and then click it. Now it's your whole desktop on the deal. But everybody should be able to see your screen.
Did you follow that?
No, I didn't follow. Not me.
This person doesn't yet. They do. It's all right.
All right. Your internet connection is unstable. Awesome. Love that.
All right, Nick, I'm out. Have a good class.
All right. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. All right, everyone. I'm sorry it took a little. I am going to be teaching the wonderful class of setting goals. Let me stand up here because I need to get situated. I apologize. Cindy, I don't think we've met. David, how are you, sir? Actually, you're in the Mandeville Market Center, aren't you?
The Hammond. Actually, I'm from Ponchatoula.
Hammond, okay. And Cindy, where are you out of? Are you in local or are you one of our Baton Rouge guys?
I'm Baton Rouge. Good morning.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you. Excuse my casual look, but it's Friday and I'm teaching. And why would I want to be that? Okay, this is really hard to toggle back and forth. So forgive me, I've never taught a class via Zoom where I've had to share the screen and make it robust enough for you guys to have something to follow along. All right, Laura, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
Will you go grab this off the printer? This will make it easier. I think I guess it's the black and white. Back to this because this is also the first time I'm teaching this section of this teaching making and receive offers in the old school Ignite, and this is obviously the newer version. And so all the tech has got me scrambling. I feel old. Benny, you laughing over there?
Wait till you get to be my age, Nick. Then you're really gonna feel old.
All right. Is it printing, Laura? How can you guys hear?
I hear you just fine. It's just Cindy.
You good? Looks like you. Did he cut out?
I'm here. Can you see me and hear me?
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Well, to make sure that we don't miss anything printed out. I guess I should have been more prepared, but this getting this whole Zoom thing and all the casting over to the TV ate up all that time. So I'll be right back. Laura? Just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this thing printed out. I really apologize. Okay. I'm a technology master. I'm a technology master. I'm a technology master. I'm a technology master. See. I hope nobody's trying to come into the chat because I don't even know how to get this, make this bigger now. Nothing came out? Pivot to something else that you know works. Okay, here we go. We'll just have to do, I don't know why I didn't think about this. This is sitting there up for me. Or I could just use this on the side. Look at that. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm back. We should be able to start now. Everybody ready? All right. Last year, like, yeah, we've been ready. Okay, so here we go. We're going to be doing setting goals that matter. Does anyone have any questions before we start? Anything that we want to discuss to make sure that we go over in today's material? Obviously, just in generally, setting goals is a part of creating that mindset and giving you a clear path to achieving the things that you want in life. Everyone who has big businesses set big goals. So no questions. What are any opportunities do you see for yourself? What are you excited about? Somebody answer. We're going to do a lot of participation. Raise your hand. Laura, you're the only one in here that can physically raise her hand right now. But even in the chat box or really with so many, I would actually ask you this. If you're in a place where it looks like most of you are, cameras on, go ahead and take the mute off. We don't have enough people that are going to probably drown out. I want you to just naturally be able to respond as if you were in the classroom. Okay. So since we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us in here. Okay. So if you wouldn't mind taking that off and just participating. So what are you excited about? What gets you excited in the morning? Anything? What about you, Vinny? I'm gonna pick on you because you're my favorite.
Just waking up another day.
Okay. Okay. What about? And I know, and that's it. What about something else? What about maybe your family? Is that something that gets you excited every day? What else?
That's a given. I defer. Next person.
What else? Laura, what makes you excited? What gets you?
Just knowing, setting small goals for myself gets me excited, especially if I achieve that one small goal. It helps me wake up and say, hey, I already hit yesterday's goal. Let's see how much further I can move today.
Awesome. That's a very good point. Chunking it down. We're going to talk about that. We're going to use a tool called the 411 to, if is anyone using the 411? Show of hands in the room. Who uses a 411 on a regular basis for whatever you need it for?
You said regular basis.
On a regular basis.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, and the
I
reason,
should.
yeah, and you should. And the reason why is, you know, if you're using it on a regular basis, you're going to start to see the consistency of what being ultra focused really looks like and the results that come from it. And the more you tap into it, so you can't just kind of taste it and then, oh, well, it didn't work. Well, it's going to take the need to build up that momentum and to see how it really does that one tool. And you can use the 411 on your business goals. You can use a 411 on a very simple task. It does not need to be ultra difficult. You can set it for just a simple workout plan, annual goal for your health, how you're going to break that down in the months, how you're going to break that down in the weeks.
I feel like when I first did it, it was very intimidating.
Uh-huh.
But once you actually sit down, take the time to get it set up, I think it's fine after that.
Well, here's what's funny. Oh no, did I just run out of juice? I'm a technology master. So here's what's funny. A lot of people, when I've administered the 411 or required people on our team to use a 411, they commonly their first reaction is, oh well, I'm not done yet. I don't. It's like they're trying to perfect it. And what you don't understand is that, well, what they're not understanding is that, at least yet, they get it later, is that it's a living document. It's meant to breathe. It's meant to have things come off of it. It's meant to have new things put on it that you didn't have you never even knew when you first started building it out at the beginning of the year, that's but things get changed around. COVID hits. You know, our annual goals that we were setting for the year of 2020 that we had set back in November of 2019, poof, like good luck trying to get to those when things were not moving for at least 60 days. And now, did things catch up? Yes. Are we catching back up to our goals? Yes. But you know, you never know. So what did we do? We made a correction. We looked at what was actually realistic. Laura, can you shut that door? We looked at what's actually realistic and what we thought we could do to recalculate where we needed to be, and we made the new goals. So your 411, don't ever think that your 411 has to be perfect, or you're comparing your 411 to someone else's. They're all correct. Okay, there is no wrong way to put one of these together. Again, if you're using it consistently enough, it's keeping you focused on what is the goal in front of me. So that's why it is, in my opinion, uber important to anyone who wants to have a big life and big success. Okay, so what successful agents do every day? First and foremost, on the left-hand side is they're going to grow their business. Number one, we always hear it's the common theme in Ignite: lead generate, lead generate, lead generate. But without number one, what you have to hear, without number one, the rest of this slide does not even matter. Everybody understand that? When you don't have a business to market sellers, listings, buyers, houses, everything, preview real estate, you don't have any of it unless you're paying attention and focusing on that lead generation piece of it. And I know it's a dirty word. Everyone's like, oh, lead generation, I don't want to go call people. You don't want to call people? Don't call people. I don't call people. We're going to talk about the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. I quickly realized in my career that calling, although efficient for some people, see that as very little effort, right? But for me, it was a lot of effort. It was effort to get the call list together. It was an effort to to set the time. It was an effort to block against distractions. It was an effort to get the scripting together. It was an effort. All I saw was effort, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So if you don't like the way that something's going, it doesn't mean that you can't try to, lead generation doesn't have to be pigeonholed into making phone calls. So I guess that's what I want to tell you, is that when I saw the results, or the amount of effort that I was putting into trying to just get ready to call during the day, I was like, this is wild.
So you were basically getting ready.
Yeah, I was getting ready to get ready. All I saw myself was spinning wheels. So I said, absolutely not. I'm going to see people face to face. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go join a group, a club, an organization, common interests, common themes. Put yourself in front of those people. And that's how I decided to lead generate. And that's how I decided to build the 411 around what I was going to do every day in that as it relates to that. Okay. So, the secret to being a successful real estate agent is what? There is no secret. There is no secret. It's success leaves clues. So just pay attention to who's around you. Okay. So watch the people who are successful. They leave clues, and start to do those things every day. If you see that one agent doing that every day, or that one activity, maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once a month, you need to perk up and go, what are they really doing there? Is that really, they're actually doing that for lead generation purposes. That's a smart idea. Oh my gosh. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just make it lighter and stronger and go.
I learned that very early on.
Yeah.
If somebody that I knew I looked up to was holding a class, I was going to that class. Or if I knew they had signed up for a class, I was going to sit in it, no matter if I was interested or not.
Right.
Because they were doing something and I wanted to sit there.
Right. What are you doing that I'm not doing? Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we're in an environment where that's promoted, and I don't think a lot of corporations really just out in real estate, not even real estate specific, right? Just across the board. We're just not in the culture of being that. Come along, come see what I'm doing. Come see. You want to do it? Here, look. Here's the system. The system is only as good as the one that you'll actually use, right? So it's not about. There is no secret. Just go find who the people you are like. I'd like to be there one day, and go do it, and go follow them and mock them every step of the way. All right. So every day, agents do two types of activities. They grow their business and they run their business. On each side, you'll see what are the items that actually classifies as growing the business and what actually classifies as running the business. Now, as you get into rhythm and you're starting to close deals and your little business is going, right? Well, actually there is no choice, but there is no right answer, but the side that tends to lend more leverage is on that growth side. So on the run the business side, you can put leverage in place there. So as you're growing your business and you're lead generating, you can just focus on the growth side and put in either systems or people to do the run side. Does that make sense? So, just take, for instance, number 4, transaction management closing. That can be leveraged out if you choose. Doesn't have to be. And in fact, I encourage everyone to be your own one-man band for as long as you can possibly take it. Does everyone hear? That might not be the common theme, but here's why I say it. If you don't know what to do in all aspects of your business, and I mean laser focused on, exactly, that is how you transact. That's how you close a buyer. This is how you list a seller. This is how you process an inspection. This is how every little breathing portion of that transaction, if you are not intimately involved in it by yourself, doing as many deals as your bandwidth can handle, so that you know what's to be, you may not be the best person for it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to know what to expect out of that position before you can then go say, I'd like to hire a transaction coordinator. Because then you don't actually know what you expect out of them. You may not even know what to do, and they may do something that causes you to think, well, that wasn't the right thing, but actually you didn't know that the process, that's what it calls for. So, being a practitioner of every little intricacy of the real estate transaction, in my opinion, for as long as you can take it until you know every bit of it backwards and forwards, then go hire out that leverage, because then you know what to expect out of them. That gets the most money out, most mile out of the, well, in money, out of the leverage itself. That's why I think knowing it, going there and going, well, I don't know command and I don't know how to do this, but I'm just going to pay somebody to do it and I'll just block it out. What happens when that person leaves? What happens when you got to go find another person? Because they're not going to be there forever. You don't even know what to do. Your business, just boom, it just blows up for, about a month or so until you put that piece back in.
I'm at the point right now where I feel like I had 5 closings this month, so I'm so set into the run my business column that I forgot over the last 2 weeks to grow my business.
So you're getting into that. Does anybody else feel that? Natasha, Vin, David, Cindy, you get that roller coaster effect?
I live there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, and it's hard.
Unfortunately, I live there.
Realize, yeah.
Because I don't leverage, and I should.
Right. Well, and I
find myself living the roles.
Well, I'm proud of you for saying that out loud. What I would encourage you with is that no amount of this is like, you're never going to get the full wave out of it. You're just going to lessen the wave, right? There is no, it's always well, guess what? You don't have enough, in my opinion, and this may sound cynical of me, and I'm sorry, but you don't have enough control. Not in this business. You don't have enough control. So what you must do is you must stay very focused. You must set the goals. You must use the systems to try to even those waves out as much as possible. Elections, COVID, like, what are you going to do about COVID? What are you going to do? Nothing. Everybody's business went, everybody had a bump right there. Everybody. So the point is that, look, it's never going to go away. You're always going to feel some, like, I'm in the business. Oh, whoa, it kind of stopped and slowed down. Okay, now I have time to go visionary, right? The only chance that you get to divide and conquer is if you have a business partner, where the business partner is running it all and the other person is being the visionary, growing the business. There you go. So, I mean, that's the only other way. Otherwise, you are feeling this, right? So, okay. So today, these are the skills that we're going to focus on. Obviously, number 1, lead generation. Number 6, setting goals. And number 8, attend training and get coaching. Just by being here today, you're getting training and coaching, so great job. And finally, we're going to set the goals for our business. Obviously, every day we should be lead generating. So number 1, number 2, and number 6 and number 8, we're all going to knock out today. So here you are. Oh, there's that slide. I'm looking at. Here we are on the timeline. Okay. We're going to try to set one meaningful goal, and we're going to try to complete a 411 with steps to move forward to that goal. Okay. So today is going to be a fun day. Today, we're going to cover settings, setting goals, which is a part of running your business. To do that, we're going to ask the big questions. Where do you want to go? And what is your motivation? So earlier I'd asked, what gets you excited? So I'm going to ask you again, you're going to have to participate. And I'm going to call on Natasha. Natasha, what motivates you? And where do you want to go in life?
I had to find my button first.
That's all right.
So what motivates me?
Yeah,
Well,
what motivates you?
It's probably not the right answer, but
That's okay.
money
There's no wrong
motivates
answer.
everybody. Hello?
Or lack of, right?
Right?
So your motivation is to be financially stable.
Right.
And create wealth for your family. Awesome. Vin, what motivates you every day?
I think trying to help people realize their dreams in this business, because that's what I did my whole life as a paramedic, just help people when they needed help. And the finances are there too, but I'm just trying to do the best I can do for everybody.
Okay, so your motivation is to be giving and helpful, and to
Yep.
be that person in other people's lives. Awesome.
Yep.
All right, David, you're not escaping.
No, I'm not trying to. My motivation is pretty much being able to provide better for my family. So really it all boils down to profit and just making sure that I'm able to provide a decent way of life. And I'm also enjoying the opportunity to work from home, and my wife and I are a team, so we work together and get to spend a whole lot more time together like that. So that's been great. And just the whole idea of being able to control your own hours, being able to earn what you're worth. I mean, whatever you get out of it is what you put into it. So that's all great.
You said an interesting word there. You're looking at your profit, right? Your motivation is profit, which is great, because you can go make as much money as you want, right? But if you can't keep it and hold on to it or do something good with it, what's the point? What are you doing, right? So I like that. Cindy, what motivates you?
So financial freedom and leaving a legacy for my children and grandchildren one day, and being able to help others, having the financial freedom to be able to just write a check to whatever foundation or association or individual that may be in need without having to check your bank account type things.
Right.
So being able to help others, family.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You said one thing that really resonates with me, and that is legacy. That is something that motivates me every day, and how I act and what we do and how we do it. That is a guiding principle for me. And I never knew it out of 14 years of business, never knew it. It took my wife and I to go to the goal setting retreat, the One Thing goal setting retreat in Austin. We went to it last year. Yeah, last year. And there's an exercise where there's a deck of cards, and this deck of cards is thick. Like I know you're on Zoom, so it's thick, right? It's a deck of cards, bigger than the 50, like our normal playing cards. And they all have one word on them, and it's legacy and compliance and love and just all these different feelings and whatever and emotions and it's really cool. And so you go through the card and you put them in stacks. And then what they're doing is they're helping you prioritize. And okay, now take this stack. One of them's got to go, right? And so you're coming down to your top three, and then the number one out of that top three. And what I found was that was through this exercise, and it was a very long exercise, believe it or not. That was my identifying word. That was my identifying motivation. That is what every time. Is it a bad thing? Yes. What about the legacy? Okay, don't do that. Okay, like, is it a good thing? Yes. What about the legacy? Okay, do that. Do I need to put more time into this? What about your legacy? Yep, I sure do. Or does this matter to the legacy? Nope, it doesn't. I'm out. It helps you answer the question, right? Do I need to be here? And we're gonna go over a lot of the One Thing. In fact, it's on the next slide. If my little doodad would work. Is it not? Oh, there we go. Who we are and where we want to go determine what we do and what we accomplish. Oh, I got some people in the waiting room. Hold on, guys. I don't know why they just won't let everybody in automatically. Okay, hey guys, we had some new people come What was that? Tarika J, and then somebody who's just labeled as iPhone. So I don't know who that is, but welcome. But anyway, so who we are and where we want to go determine what we do and what we accomplish. Laura, you look perplexed by that statement.
No,
Who has heard of the one thing? And just show of hands real quick. Who's heard of the one thing? Has anybody read the book?
I haven't opened it yet, but
Okay. All right, Cindy.
I read
Natasha.
the book.
We got some homework to do. But seriously, read the book. It's applicable. Look at that. There you go, Natasha. It's applicable to nearly anything. It is not a real estate book. It is not something, it's not even Keller Williams, right? I mean, it is, but it's not. They try super hard to detach themselves from the red flag. You know what I mean? If you listen to their podcasts, they are half of the community, they say the statistics all the time, half of the community is not even real estate related. It is not about real estate, and it's not about Keller Williams. It's about identifying and prioritizing what really, really, really matters. Okay. So the one thing is a book that Gary Keller and Jay Papasan wrote about how to structure your life and to achieve your goals. We're going to be talking about a few of those principles from the one thing. So thinking about this quote, why is it important to set goals?
it determines where we go and what we accomplish.
Okay, but why is that important?
So you have a schedule, so you know what you're working towards.
Okay, very good.
When things get rough and you get tired, you remember why you're doing what you're doing.
Exactly right. That's a good one. It refocuses. Anyone else?
And it makes you feel accomplished when you achieve them.
Yeah.
Mhm. Satisfaction issue. I mean, a piece there. Very satisfying. It's almost like, Laura, going back to what you said earlier, way in the very beginning of the class, you like to set goals, but you also know and note, and I agree because I do the same thing, is to set smaller goals. Like, and I'm talking like, do 10 push-ups before noon. Just something, right? And these little goals that you can check, and you start to like, ooh, win, check, ooh, win, check, ooh, win, check. And it's like, now you got your energies going. You're not down in the dump. So setting those little smaller step goals, even throughout the day, highly, highly recommended to get you in motion. And if you're not in motion, you're just sitting there, okay? So if your activities don't have a guiding goal, you'll likely be very busy and not have a lot to show for it. Anybody ever feel that way? Every time I don't focus, if I'm not setting boundaries either with colleagues or teammates or my wife, because David, I work with my wife as well. We have a team. If I'm not like, hey, between 10 and 2, you can't talk to me about the day-to-day of what's going on in the files, because I've got something to do. And every time I don't stay disciplined and focused, and I don't set those boundaries and set those goals to achieve by the end of the day, I have so much going on. I'm like, I'm over here, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And you turn around, you're exhausted by the end of the day, and you go, what did I just have to show for that? Nothing. So you're not the only one. Everyone experiences it, but I can tell you what causes it. Lack of focus. Lack of focus equals lack of goals. Lack of goals equals lack of direction. And lack of direction equals the feeling you don't want to have. So if that is the case, that's what we got to do. And it sucks, but that's what we got to do. That's what we have to stay disciplined on. And you're going to need, and here's the other thing it buys you. This is what you also have to remember. That, you know, that shirt that says discipline equals freedom, right? This is not a commitment to, you know, being a slave to your work and your profession. This is a commitment to knocking out what needs to happen in an orderly fashion. And guess what? If it gets done sooner, guess what you get to go do? Relax. Or not. You get the choice. You get to keep working or you get to relax. You hit your goals ahead of schedule, you can quit. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, Gary Keller did that in his very first year of real estate. His very first year. If you listen to this podcast on, I mean, I've heard it many, many times before podcasts were even a thing, but what's it, the Think Like a CEO podcast. He tells you that he was a very naturally goal-oriented person. And when his first year he got into real estate, he took his last month off of the year because he met his goals in 11 months. And it wasn't anything like crazy, right? I mean, it wasn't, you know, 60 million in volume and, you know, 320 transactions. It was like, you know, simple income goal of 60, 80,000, I think, to buy a car or something, just to like buy the car, just to get into the debt of the car, not even to buy it all out cash, right? And his manager looked at him and said, well, what are you gonna, like, where are you going? He's like, I hit my goals. I'm out. I'm taking the rest of December off. See ya. And he went and did whatever he wanted to do. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. So that's what I guess what I'm saying is, without those goals, you're getting those priorities done, you feeling accomplished, you've gotten to the end of the goal, you've met it. Your choice now. Do you want to continue or do you want to relax? So that gets you that life by design, right? And where I'm pointing at the bold wall, I know you can't see what's behind me, but.
No, it's funny you say that because my goal right now is to cap. I'm
Okay.
4 months into my
Can everyone hear Laura, by the way? Hold on. Sorry, Laura. Can everyone hear Laura when she talks? Okay. Can you talk louder, Laura? Come sit by me. Come sit by me. 6 feet. Okay. 6 feet, but come sit by me. They'll hear you.
So my goal is. Is this better? Can they hear me?
Can you hear her now? Say something. You
Hi,
can.
can you hear me?
Yep. Benny's giving the thumbs up. Okay.
Okay, so my goal is to cap. I'm 4 months into my anniversary and I am $4,000 shy.
Okay.
Capping. And so you said that Gary Keller, once he hit his goals, he took a month off.
Uh-huh.
Mine, I think, is the complete opposite.
Right.
Once I cap, I think I'm just going to work that much harder just so I can keep that much more money.
Oh, absolutely. Understand that he was working for a traditional company, no
That's
cap
true.
at that point, right? So yes, a very good point, Laura. Working towards a goal such as capping can actually provide you more opportunity if you continue to work, right? Makes sense, right? So now you've gotten to the point of, I'm not getting taxed anymore, essentially. And now I'm going to go make hay while the sun's shining. It was always a goal of ours to cap, like it's the annual goal. It doesn't always happen, by the way. I don't think I've only done it once. Okay. Listen, no, wait. Cap in 30 days. So you roll over, boom, cap in 30 days. That's always my goal, right? 11 months free. Hello, who wouldn't want that? Does it happen at probably 1 out of 15? It's happened. Does it stop me from resetting the goal every time? Nope, because sometimes I get it in 45 days and sometimes I get it in 60 days and sometimes I get it in 86 days. And who really gives a hoot? The point was I was focused on getting that cap out of my way. And that was the driver. It was cap. And then we can make a ton of money, 100%, and then really invest back into the business, or aloha, see ya. But you get to decide. Okay, so let's move on. So let's look at the next slide. Wake up, computer. There we go. So part of achieving goals is working hard. We just talked about that. I think we can all agree on that. And if you don't put in the time and the effort, you won't get very far. So look at this graph. What else is important to setting and meeting goals? What is important about this goal? What is this goal? What does this graph mean to you? Somebody in the Zoom world. What does that graph mean to you? Anything?
I think sometimes you have to think before sometimes sometimes we can kind of just beat the air, and try to do a whole bunch of things and not really have a purpose. And when you do that kind of thing and you don't have a purpose or a goal per se, then you're just kind of beating the air per se, if that makes sense.
David, you teed it up and like Babe Ruth that baby out of the park. That's exactly the answer. It's thinking. It is thinking big. It is that is, if you are not thinking big, you won't have big outcomes. It's like the saying, hell, I don't know the saying. Shoot for the stars and maybe you'll end up on the moon. Is that right?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good enough. Sounds good enough. Close enough.
Sounds good.
Thank you. But you get what I'm saying. That's the whole point. Like, you got to aim super high, and maybe you fall short, but guess what? That falling short of that super high goal is still extremely, extremely proud to have, whatever it is, right? And when you are looking at small outcomes and you're not thinking about things that are in, and look, it's hard. I'm telling you right now, for someone who does this exercise all the time, it is I don't know how people think like they think, like when they really think big, when things like expansion themes and stuff like come to people's minds and like all that stuff. I can't even like process them. I can't process all of like, so you're not alone, but here's what you need to hear is this is a muscle, right? And the more you use it and the more you work it out in those ways, you will then that becomes a whole lot easier. And that's the only difference between them and really us. And I say them, I mean like the Gary Kellers, right? Their brain muscle is just they are engaging that thing 2, 3, 4 times a day, thinking extremely big every day of their life. And we do it like once every 6 months, maybe once a year, maybe only when we're in a class like this. So, and that's not to get down on you, but that's just really to set the realization of that's the difference. It's exercise. Okay. So, very good job on nailing it. And so that's right. So you don't get big outcomes from thinking small. When we talk about thinking here, we're talking about thinking big, but setting goals and thinking big on how to reach those goals. You have to ask, what are you doing? How do you do it? Who are you doing it with? And these answers can limit your outcome or they can propel you forward. So again, it's a constant, this is not I'm gonna take 5 minutes, I'm gonna think big and I'm gonna put it on the shelf and here we go, goals. That's not how this works. This is a constant thing to do and to be reminded of, okay? So the question you need to ask now is, how big is your box? How big is that box that is, right? Who's the what, the how, oh, darn it, these touch screens, I'm sorry. Who's the what, the how, and the who? And is your box big enough? Many new agents limit themselves right away. And look, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say anything.
Oh, that's all right. I didn't know if you had a question. I guess you were good. All right, anyway, so many new agents limit themselves right away. Maybe they don't call their sphere and just hope business will come their way. Maybe they aren't systematic about lead generation. Maybe they refuse to learn scripts that would make their job easier. Most of those agents don't stay in the business because they treat it as because they don't treat it as a business, or they burn out because they aren't seeing a good return from their time and their effort. Okay, so just be ultra careful of that. All right, so I think this is an exercise. Pull out your participant guide to page 3. Does everybody have that, or at least online? You'll see that there is it's a quick little activity we're going to take 10 minutes to do, maybe even less. We'll just kind of maybe even do it together. Is this little drawing. So we're going to do an activity that will help you envision your big life. Once you have that vision in place, then you can set meaningful goals that will bring you closer to that life. Once you have the goals, we can talk about how to reach them. It all begins with your vision. So on each of those 5 rectangles, and just know this, it can be more than 5 rectangles. It can be less than 5 rectangles. 5 is not your, it's not the, well, it is, it's just the default. You can have less, you can have 3, you can have 1, you can have very many. So I think when we do this exercise, we probably wind up like at 20. It's about, here's another thing that you learn. The more bubbles you have, the bigger you're thinking. So I'll just give you a little secret there. If you don't have a lot of bubbles, it's not wrong. But what I am telling you is we're going to need to exercise a little more. We're going to need to work a little harder on and more regularly to think of bigger so that we can add more bubbles. So the general theory here is on each of the 5 rectangles, write a person or cause that you care about. So I want y'all to do this. I can see your faces. I would rather see your eyes down like this because you're writing, or at least fool me. On each of the 5 rectangles, write a person or cause that you care about. So in this example, you've got Austin Pets Alive. They wanted to donate a cat to the cat fund or whatever, $5,000. They've got Mom and Dad. They've got Sarah and Hunter. That must be their children. This is on the slide that I'm showing. So what would you like to do for that person or cause? What would you like to do? So the person or cause goes above the bubble. What you would want to do goes in the bubble. You repeat it for each rectangle and include an estimate on how much each action would cost. Take a few minutes to write your bubbles out. Think big. While I drink my big water. Look at that water. Big water for big thinkers. Maybe those do. Okay, so in the center of the circle, quantify what this big life requires. So now we're going to add them all up, and don't freak out. Like I want to say, I think in our goals, it was like a couple 100,000. I'm like, oh my God. It's like $500,000. I'm like, we got to think, we got to figure this out. But the point is that some people go into the millions, and if you do good, you're doing it right. You're doing it better than I did. So think big, add them all up, quantify them, put them all. What does this big life require financially, and how much would these things cost? Also note that some of these things you may put something in there that requires time and not money. So you would quantify the time as well. Because as business owners, they will need to budget time in terms of money as well. I also know that because as you start to get and you're starting to do more things and your bandwidth is increasing and you're fielding all of these things, you learn very quickly your time is way more valuable than the money you're making. What happens is you're like, I want some consistency. I want some freedom. I want some financial freedom. I want to be able to spend how I want to spend. I want to be able to, like David said, set those hours. But I guess what you meant is whether you choose to work or choose not to work, because there is no 9 to 5 in real estate. You should be real estating 24/7. And if you're not, you're just trying to figure out how to make this ends meet until you can find the next thing to go to. So real estate, you just never stop, man. It doesn't stop. The people, they want to hear from you all the time, 9:30 at night.
I got a message at
It just
3
never
o'clock this morning
stops.
on Facebook.
Yeah, 3 a.m, reaching out to you, you know, at least they reached out to you like via private message and it wasn't a text message at 3 a.m. Okay, so let me give me some ahas from that. Can everybody show just, you know, you don't have to, so we don't have to see details, but show me like this. Everybody do this. Look at mine. Look at that. Look at Laura's. Got it. Benny, let me see it. We got it? Y'all did them? There we go. There we go. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Okay, so what are some ahas from that? Come on, tell me. Tell me, how does that make you feel? Did it make you, take all your mics off. I want to hear your kids screaming in the background. I want to hear the TV. I want to hear Margaret Orr back there screaming about the hurricane. I want to hear it all. Take your mics off. Start talking.
I found out I better not take the day off.
Yeah, well, if your goals are really big, you gotta.
Ask for watches at home and not in the office.
No, because she already said. Natasha, Laura said, well, you better ask her why she's not in the office and at home today. But don't worry, baby, I got you. That Jeep don't have a top. She got a bikini top on, and
Her husband's not.
but let's go. So David, what ahas? Vinny, Cindy, Jay, the rest Tarika, Cindy, and whoever's iPhone. Whose iPhone? Who's labeled as iPhone?
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
I mean, I think if you set that particular price in the middle in the circle, and
Yeah.
the things that you want to do, it gives you a direction to go in, what you have to do to get to that point. If you know, if I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Does anybody's number scare them?
Yeah, it's probably more money than I've thought about. You know, now putting it into a picture and kind of setting an amount to my goals. It's kind of scary, but then again, it also gives me something to really shoot for.
That's
And
right.
make me realize that I can do that.
That's right. That's very good.
What are those
Very good
goals called?
observation.
Big, audacious?
Big hairy goals.
Yeah, what's the acronym for that?
I can't remember. I could spit a couple of them out like you just did, but I won't even try. Okay, so understanding your goal. This is where we're at now. Okay, so now that we've got a vision and a goal, and it is monetary. And so Natasha, you were not wrong or feeling bad that your motivation is money, because money is good for the good it can do. It's not money. Always people think, you've got that cliche saying that money's root of all evil. Money, people who win the lottery, they all have these horrible experiences after, and it's all due to the money. No, it's due to their choices on what to do with that money. If that money was going to charity, if that money was paying for someone's wheelchair, if that money was paying for a college education, that is spectacular. There's nothing wrong with it. And if that's the case, if that's where we're pointing or aiming the money, the world can't produce enough of it, right? So it is all on how you look at it, and how you use that money. So now that we have a vision and a goal, let's look at what it means for you to achieve that goal through real estate. So you'll love this little slide. Where does it go? Where does your money go? Where's your money go, Laura, when you do a deal?
I don't even know. Not to me.
Yeah, not to me, Laura says. Natasha, you've been in this business before. Where's all your money go?
Gotta unmute. I haven't figured that out yet because, okay, I have to admit, I do still have some money in savings from some of my closings. So I did good with that.
Yep.
But some of it disappeared.
So, the first thing you need to understand is how your commission works, right? Being an ultra successful business owner who sets big goals and achieves those big goals has to first understand, how does this really work from the money side of it? Okay. And what is the real numbers, and not just going, I want to make 100,000 this year, or I want to do a 20 million in closed volume, or 100 units, or whatever it is. You have to understand how your commission works. So many new agents get the check-in at their first closing, pocket it all. It's an exciting amount of money. I know I did it. Like the pot calling account, like I did it. I did it for a couple of years. Forget about taxes. You're paying, you're hoping, this is what we used to do. It's being recorded, who cares? So we used to not save, not allocate money for taxes, do none of that. Just pull the check in, put it in the account, spend it as needed. And then we would get towards tax time, and we were ultra focused on what deal was going to make us enough, or set of deals that were going to make us enough money to go pay our tax bill. So we just take that whole chunk, pay the tax bill, and start over again. What a horrible cycle. Horrible cycle. Horrible cycle. Can it be done? Yes. Is it anxiety ridden? Yes. Is it stressful? Yes. Is it smart? No, it's not.
I'm in October, and that's my goal for the rest of the year now.
Okay. Well, but the point is that, right? It's like,
It's definitely
you have got to start managing your money correctly. Because even if you're not going after these goals, I mean, even if you are going after these goals and you're raking it in, right, and it's coming in, if you're not managing it correctly, what are you doing? What are you doing? You are going to burn out, because you're sitting there going, look at all the work, the time, the effort, the marketing, the coaching, and all these other things that I'm doing, and I've got nothing to show for it. If I don't make this next closing, I can't pay my mortgage, right? It's like, but we do 15 million in volume. Why don't you have money? I don't know. So let's look at that. So you pocket it all, and then you get in trouble down the line, which is what we're talking about. So let's talk about where the money goes and how much will actually be going to your goal, which will help you get ultra focused on really setting the number where you need it to be. So these numbers are very general, and they are meant only as an example. So actual amounts may vary. So just be patient with the way that this slide goes. So first, if you're on the seller side of the transactions, half of the commission amount goes to the buyer's agent. The same is true if you're the buyer's agent, paying a 50% split to the seller's agent, right? If you ever get into those scenarios where you're the buyer's agent creating the deal. It's very rare. But anyway, so split, right? 50-50. So once you have your half, about a third goes to the market center to cover your company dollar, franchise royalty, and fees. So there's that third. After you pay the market center, roughly another third goes back into your business, or should be going back into your business. This covers marketing, operating expenses, signs, your car, your phone, anything else you need to conduct and grow your business. Anything. So there goes that chunk. And then finally, you get your share, okay? With a caveat. And your take home does not include your taxes. So this little piece over here, that one little sliver of that dollar bill, is still not allotting for taxes, okay? So what is your aha there? What's your aha? When you make the dollar, half of it goes to the other agent, then 2/3 of it goes out for other things. What's the aha?
Focus on the big number.
Hmm?
I don't focus on the big number. I focus on the smallest amount. That way I'm not even thinking about how much I lost, like how much went to the other agent, how much went to this and that. I look at what is coming in for me.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. The only third, the third, putting it back into your business, you know, the part where you're putting it back into your business and helping it grow, that's actually can be exciting and fun. So I actually like reserving that portion of it to see what I can then go. It's just like splurging, like when you go shopping, like you gotta, you know what I mean? Like it's, you go buy a car, buy a boat, buy clothes. When you have a little kitty that you've put aside and you know that this is what this is for, it makes that activity that much better, right?
Yes.
And so that's the part I really like doing. But I guess what else is to be explained here is that, you know, you can't look at it. We've got to do some math now. We've got to do some math if we're going to hit that large bubble, right? We can't just take half the dollar times, you know, right, and get to that number. We've actually got to look at just that one last third. How many thirds do we need, right, to get to that number? So we'll help you break that down, and it's a really cool little exercise. Okay, so let's get real and get paid. So if your average sales price, everybody work with me through this, okay? Because our average sales price right now is not 300. All right, well, maybe in Baton Rouge, I might be getting close. What is it there, Cindy? Maybe like 240s, 250s, 260s?
So I am brand spanking new. This is my second full week. But what I'm hearing, it's between like 250, 350 is a sweet spot.
Okay. And that is our sweet spot here in Mandeville as well. Anything between 250 and 350 sells like lightning, especially if it's new, especially in Baton Rouge, because they're really booming over there as far as new construction. But our average sales price, let's be very conservative, okay? Because I'm a very conservative, and this is what this exercise is about. That's what shopping that dollar down to that last third is conservative thinking. So fiscally conservative. So what I would urge you to do is lower that sales price, I guess is what I'm trying to tell you. Let's get real. That average sales price around here is probably 218, 222, something like that, some wild number like that. Let's just take 220. 220,000 average sales price. Now, as much as it pains me to say this, and as much as how hard I know personally the LaRocca team fights to get a better commission splits than what we're having to deal with, but the likelihood of everyone getting sixes is just not real anymore. It's just not. So use 5. Use 5%. You're going to split that 2.5. Because even as a newer agent, and even if you're lead generating, the likelihood of your first couple of deals are going to be buyers, and guess what? You don't have control. Don't have control over what that that commission was negotiated at. Okay, so be conservative. Use 5%. So now we're looking at 2.5% of 220. So who's doing the math with me? Who has what is that number? All right, Cindy. Say it out. 220 times 2.5%. What is that number?
5,500.
5,500. So that's the number we're going to work on. Okay. Some people you may aspire to get into higher price ranges. That's what our goal is. We decided to work smart, not hard. So we try to stay well above it. Do we get it always? No. But is it our focus? Yes. So we're looking to make those efforts of closing deals churn more money, because 150 million and a half is about this much different. And it's more so on how you coddle the client more so than it is the actions. You negotiate, get it accepted. You go through an inspection process, you go through an appraisal process, you finalize the loan, you close. Just so happens that the 1.5 deal shells out about 20 grand and the 150 deal shells out about 4. So why are you not, that's where we're focusing on, is just where we're at. So if you are in larger or higher price brackets, you are welcome to adjust. But my mode of thinking is to say, let's see, hold on, I got somebody wanting to get back in. Front desk. Get in here, front desk. Sorry, I had to let somebody in. But you just be conservative. It'll help, because guess what? If your income is better and you're closing homes that are above that average and you're able to get higher percentages, well, you're going to hit your goals that much faster. Okay, and you'll be able to either take the month off or really buckle down and get it going. So, so our objective in this activity is to get real about tying your business to your goals. We're going to figure out, based on how much money you'll receive from a transaction, how many transactions you'll need this year to meet your goal. So turn to page in your participant guide. I don't know if it has a page, maybe page 6, maybe. So first, we're going to estimate the average sales price and average GCI in our market. As your experience selling more homes, you will be able to estimate an average sales point and GCI that fits your transactions more accurately. So in our market, we've already gone over the average sales price and the gross commission income per transaction. So what that would look like. So now these are just examples, okay? Because this is an example of a cap, and this is obviously a cap that's probably in a Texas market center or something like that. But this royalty in their company dollar is totaling 30,000. So if you know yours, so for Mandeville, it's 15.5 market center company dollar, 3,000 franchise royalty for a total of 18,500. If you are in Mandeville, and I think Baton Rouge, Cindy, you're probably closer to like 21 or 20, something like that, I want to say.
I think it's 21.
Yeah, your base cap, your market center company dollars, not much different. Of course, the franchise fee doesn't change. So yeah, your market center cap is at 18. So you'll be 18 plus 3 is 21. So you're going to need to know those numbers. I think everyone else is in Mandeville, right? On the Zoom. So if there's other market centers that, and I can probably spitball what your caps might be just because I have a general knowledge of it. Speak up, and we'll help you get that narrowed down. So now we're going to figure out how much of your commission is going to the market center. So multiply your GCI by your market center's company dollar. This number is capped at, well, for this case, 15.5. Once you cap, you don't have to pay any more company dollars when you go into the anniversary, I mean, the 100% to your anniversary date. And then you have the franchise royalty, which is generally 6% of your GCI. This is capped at 3,000. And so now add those together and you get a maximum amount of money you'll pay to the market center in the course of 12 months, which we've already quickly done that. So the next slide is where the rubber meets the road. So you have your net income goal. Okay. A is your annual net income goal. So that's how much money do you want to make this year before taxes and operating expenses. And what you're going to find is you may go back and alter A. So don't worry about A being like, oh my God, do I need that? You just put the number in the middle of that circle. Or if you are 100,000, if that was your goal when you first got into real estate, 50 or 60, put it, okay, put it. There's no wrong answer there, but just know that you might have to go back and amend it, and you'll see why. B is the number we came up with on the last slide, which is your company dollar and royalty cap. So add that in there. So if you've got let's just say for easy math, you've got the $100,000 net income goal. You're in Mandeville, so you've got an 18.5 cap. Okay. So now you've got A and B filled out. C is your annual business expense. This includes salaries, most lead generation, and marketing expenses and education. So if you know that you spend, if you go to family reunion and you go to mega camp and you go to, and you have an assistant, whether that be virtual, part-time, full-time, right? Those are all your business expenses or your operating expenses. Your signs, whatever you need to operate within reason, obviously. You don't need a Gucci watch to operate. Can't add that in that column. Okay, and so what you'll find is that in column D, you're going to total them all, A, B, and C. You can also go in there, and if you want to be, you can have A, B, and C could include your taxes as well. So if you know your tax bracket is going to be 25 or 30%, you can go ahead and apply that and add that in there to the business expenses. Just any one of those, you can add it to C. You can almost have like a subset of C. You can have C business expenses, 50,000. Then you can put C1, you know, taxes at 30% should equal blank. You can dive deeper into that if you want to get. In fact, the more you get deeper into the C portion of this chart, the more accurate of a number you'll get, because the top two, A and B, are easy. A is what you want to have spit out of the pipe when everyone's got theirs. Everyone's got everything that they ever needed, inclusive of the market center, inclusive of Uncle Sam, inclusive of the things I wanted to do for my children or grandchildren, etc. I have $100,000. Add the company dollar. Those two are easy fill-ins. C is where you can get into the weeds, but actually the more you get into the weeds, in my opinion, the more accurate of a number you'll have to set your goals. So quickly, A, B, and C on this, for this example, add up to 180,000. Then you're going to put in your average GCI, which we figured that out to be, what was that, Cindy, 5,500?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So you're going to divide your row D by row E. So if D is really robust because you stuck a lot in row C, good. If you did not, it is still okay. There will just probably, as you go through each year of real estate, you're going to want to get column C more dialed in. But it's your choice. You really can't go. You just need to have a rough example, idea of your business expenses or what they should be. I think, what is it? 40%. You should be investing 40% of the gross back into it. So that'd be another number. Try to figure it out. 40% of 100, 40,000. There you go. It's right in line of what they were estimating with 50. So then once you have your total GCI and your average commission, you're going to divide the total GCI by the average commission, which is going to spit out how many deals you need. And that's going to be on F. That's going to, so in this example, 9 into 180 shows this person who's setting these goals that 20 deals in 12 months. And then you can go 20 divided by 12. How many deals do I need in a month? And that number divided by 4, and how many do I need a week? Right? If that number's getting really big, chunk it down. Does anyone have any questions about how we just did this? Can I get thumbs up? Thumbs up. Natasha, you're good? You figured nobody's having problems with this?
I need to get to work.
You need to get to work. I know. This is what these things, I know. Natasha, thank you for saying that, because a lot of times when people get into these exercises, you're like, woo, let's go, baby. Great attitude. Just stay focused with me, because if you bust and run and start going, right, eventually you're gonna lose your train of thought and where you were actually going, where you wanted to go, because we're not done, right? We're not done. We're gonna probably add more numbers to your plate here. So next slide.
I came out with 46.
46 deals?
Yes.
Well, and you could do this. You can anticipate your ratio of appointments to deals as 2 to 1 minimum. You might actually need more. You might be 3 to 1, three appointments to 1 deal, getting 1 deal. But for safe, you're gonna real quick 46. You said 46 times 2. What's that number, Natasha?
I'm sorry, what was that? 46 times 2? 46 times 2.
Yes, ma'am.
What's that one?
100 and something. 102, 104,
92.
92. Okay.
92. I was going over 100.
So that's essentially 92. You're going to have to go on 92 appointments. That's giving you an idea of how many appointments do you actually need to hit. So you're going to need to take that and you're going to go, well, I'm not going to do that divided by 52 because it's 52 weeks out of the year because you will be off on certain weeks.
I could do it by month.
Well, what I would do is I would do it by, this is what I do. This is what I do. Take it or leave it, cafeteria style. 40.
Okay.
40 weeks. Again, it's conservative thought here, okay? But how nice would it be to have 3 months of your life, 12 weeks of not having to worry about hitting your goals? Because you've hit them already.
So it's 2.3.
Some people are like, say that again?
2.3 appointments if I go by 40 weeks.
2.3 appointments a week. And so you can't do 0.3 appointments, right? So you just add that, you add the round up to 3 appointments a week. That's okay. No, Natasha, you're not supposed to know that. I'm just telling you that, just physically you can't have any fraction of it. Even if it was 2.1, I'd tell you go to 3, right? You not go down to 2. So because what the math is telling you, it's going to take more than 2, right? It doesn't matter how much more than 2, 2.1, 2.9, you've got to do more than 2. So now it's at 3. So that's 3 appointments, 3 valid, real appointments a week to reach your goal.
I like this because it makes it more attainable than looking at that big number.
Oh yeah, no, chunking it down is a must. You can't look at that number in the middle and go, how do I get to $3.2 million? I just added up a ton of stuff because I got to thinking really big. Holy moly, I just want to go back into my cocoon and go, think about this a little longer. Maybe that's not what I want to do. It's okay. You have to look at it like this. You have to chunk it down. Then you're going to do it by the weeks, and you're going to do it by how many appointments do I really need to do. And now you're going to look at how often how's my calls? How many calls do I need to make to actually land 3 appointments a week, right? And then divide that by 5 days. How many do I have to knock out a day? And so chunking all of this down will take those larger numbers and make them more palatable so that you go, oh, that's not bad. And it goes right back to what you said. You like my little teacher's pet, Laura. You said good. It's the little goals. It's hitting those little goals, getting into that momentum and knocking them down, those little dots. It's super easy, right? When it's going like that. Okay, so you can set your goals in Command. We're not going to go too deep into that. What you most certainly need to do is before you get all techie and go run over into the command side of it, you've got to make sure you may want to take a half a day to go back over this course, watch the Zoom again, watch any of the other supporting material to this, and get those goals right on paper, then go put them in. Okay, because that actually, it will help. Kelly will then be able to tell you how many appointments, it'll calculate what you need to be doing per day. It doesn't tell you who you need to do it to, but it'll tell you, look, this is what you said you wanted to do. This is what you need to do today in order to get that. And here's what you didn't do yesterday and you're falling behind.
This all goes back to
accountability.
What we learned accountability for sure.
Yep.
But definitely what we learned in the first Ignite class, your daily 10-4.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping track of what you're doing, setting small goals, 10 contacts, 10 note cards. You're kind of seeing what's translating into a showing or an appointment in general.
Did everyone hear Laura's example is when the first class of, and she said the first class of Ignite, this reminds her of setting those, the daily 10-4 is chunking those, that lead you think about it. They're like, oh my God, I got to contact all these people. I got to write all these notes and when do I have the time? But if you calendar it, it's 10, you're going to do what they ask and then that's it. And then you've done, now you check box. Right? That's that momentum and it's that mindset that you're going to get to getting things done and not slacking off or going to watch TV or whatever.
And you'll learn your patterns. I think, because I definitely learned my patterns over the course of, I think my first 2 weeks last time I took Ignite. It took me 50 contacts to achieve however many appointments. And I knew that wasn't realistic for my goal. So I had to actually up it. And I couldn't do just the minimum 10. I had to do 20 or 30.
So you were watching your conversion rate. Did everyone hear Laura? Laura was saying that in earlier when she was, how many times have you?
It's my second.
So it's Laura's second Ignite. In her first round of Ignite, say it again.
In my first round of Ignite, I realized that I was doing my bare minimum because I was reaching my goal and I was stopping.
Louder. Say it.
I was reaching my goal and I was stopping. So I was doing the bare minimum and it wasn't converting to the amount of appointments I needed to reach that big goal.
Okay, stop right there. Did you hear that? What she was doing is because she was tracking her numbers, she quickly identified a pattern that said, these ratios that I was given in class are not accurate to moi, to me. And she quickly pivoted and learned that you needed to do more. How many more did you figure out that you needed to do?
I needed to do 25 and 30 contacts a day.
Okay.
My appointment goal.
Okay. So you had to go from 10 to 25 to 30. Did everybody hear that? 10, from 10 a day, she had to take the daily 10-4 and go, you know what? If I'm not reaching my goal and this is not, 10 is not getting me to the numbers I know I need to get per week because we've sat down and set them out, we've calculated them, right? The exercises, that's why these are that important because while you're paying attention and you're tracking and you're logging, you just go, huh, I need to do more because there ain't no way I'm getting to this. And the more you're intentional and the more you're paying attention to those goals and where you're at in the process, the way more likely you are to achieve it. I mean, it is like a no-brainer. Okay, so now we got to do the activities, right? Because if you're not doing the activities, it's all nice and it's all great when you think about it, and you've got all these numbers and these goals, and they're on your board and they're on your vision board behind you, and then you don't do anything. What the hell was all that for? Then you get depressed again because you're not meeting your goals. But don't do that. You got to get straight into action. Okay. So this point of our conversation today is not to be discouraging. It's to equip you with the reality of how to succeed. So no matter how big your goal is, you can achieve it in the real estate business as long as you focus your time and your efforts on the right business activities. So take a look at this slide. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cindy.
You mentioned earlier a place, I missed a couple from the first day till now because of meetings and stuff, but where can I go to find the replay? I know that they're being recorded, but where do I go to see or and even to rewatch this one so that I can accurately, after spending more time thinking about my goals, where do I go to find the recorded version?
I believe that Anthony is holding a log of them and will probably be able to send out Zoom links of the recorded sessions. So I will remind me at the end of the class to reach out to him and text him that answer or that question so that I can get you that answer before we get off today. But they're being collected somewhere. If I had to take a guess with Anthony, he's got it on Google Drive and he's just going to invite you to to come into his, cloud, and then you can just take them from there. And is that what he does? I imagine he's pretty smart, so I wouldn't put it past him. That's how.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. You're very welcome. Okay. Huh? Yeah. Sounded good.
It does. It sounds like Anthony. I don't know what he does, but it sounds like something.
All right. So in the 1940s, a quality control manager, Dr. Joseph M. Juron, I don't know if I'm saying that right, J-U-R, Juron. I'm trying not to say Aaron, you know. So Juron documented a life-changing universal principle that he called the vital few and the trivial many. The idea was that a relatively small percentage of your efforts lead to the vast majority of your results. He attributed some of his findings to the statistical work of the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who had observed that 80% of the wealth in his country was owned by 20% of the population. As fate would have it, that broadly embraced principle came to be known as the Pareto's law or the Pareto's principle. These days, we simply call it the 80-20 principle, or the 80-20 rule is what I call it. The idea that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results may be one of the most powerful principles you can apply to your life. It is about getting the most from your time and effort. It's about maximizing your results. It's about having focus. So, does anyone know what we mean by big rocks? Anybody? Bueller? Big rocks. What's a big rock, Vanny?
Oh, no.
It's a big rock. Name a big rock. Name a big rock. Name a big rock for you. Name a big rock. Vinny, big rock. What's one of them 20% big rocks that you know you got to do?
Lead generation.
That's one of them. Absolutely. What else? Follow up. Okay. If your day is a jar, has anybody ever seen that? It's a YouTube video where they try to stack everything in and then they put the sand and they can't fit everything in it, right? But if they do the big things first, if you put in the big rocks first, everything will fill around it. If you put the little rocks in, the sand, the gravel, etc., it first won't have room for the big rocks. Your big rocks are the most important activities of your day and those which cannot be skipped. Your little rocks are distractions or smaller tasks that maybe need to be done, but aren't going to get you materially closer to your goal. So, the hey, you got a minute. The hey, we're going off to lunch. You want to come with us? Because I get distracted by those daily. Okay, so I'm only doing this because I know what it happens. If it's not basically growing your business, if it's not one of those 4 things on the grow your business side, it's likely not a big rock. It just really isn't. Just really isn't. So, yeah. So making sure, what is the one thing you can do? This question, if you've read the one thing, is what they call their focusing question. This question, if you can memorize it, will help you live a better life. I promise you. Somebody read that out to me.
What is the one thing you can do right now that would make everything else easier or unnecessary?
Thank you, Vinny.
You're welcome.
So another way to identify your 20% is to ask the question. Someone, while asking the question is simple, it can take some practice to dig down and find the best answer. You know what I mean? So that's going to go back to one of those brain exercises, the muscle. You have got to continually ask this question of yourself as you're going throughout your day, even if it's, I'm about to get up and go check my email. Is checking my email the one thing that I can do right now that would make everything easier or unnecessary? Nope. Shouldn't be checking my email. It clears, it's the barometer, I guess. Do I do it? Yep, I do that. This is the one thing that's going to make things easier today. I'm going to do that. And that's what you're going to do first. So you can use it as a filter and you can use it as a priority tool. But the point is the more you can ask yourself this daily during the day. I'm about to grab my water. Is this the one thing that's going to make everything easier or unnecessary today? For me, today, water is. So, you know, you use it as a filter. I like using it as a filter. Okay. Next slide. So here's the slide of activities we see every day. Back to it. Those big rocks, 1 through 4, I promise you that's examples of big rocks right there. So we know this is how successful agents spend their time and how you will spend your time. Remember, everything on this list will have to be done. So we're not telling you that you get to choose the 1 or 2 things to do them and then the rest of them don't get done. You are simply using this to prioritize what gets done first. Okay? So we're trying to identify what's your 20%, which action will get us the most and best results, and then we can do everything else. So looking at these activities, which activity is a successful agent's? Which activity is a successful agent's 20%?
Lead gen.
And we already said it. Yeah, we won't belabor that. We know
Okay.
it. You're right, Vinny. Look at that little red box coming up.
Yay.
Yeah, look. Whoops. Whoop. Sorry, y'all. Oh my gosh, where did I go? Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's right. It's the first thing we should be doing every day, figuring out how to lead generate. And like I said, if it's not calling, ain't nobody gonna shame you. Okay. If you've chosen to go stand in the front of Walmart and shake hands, that's fine. Do that. If you're gonna go join a club or join an organization, be on a board, identify the people who are influencers in your community, go hang out with them, because guess what? They ask other people, ask them, who do you use for real estate? Well, I use Laura Whittle. Okay, I'll use Laura Whittle too. Right? Smart, working smart, right? Okay. So we're going to get to the 411. All right. So if everyone has a 411, I saw a raise of hands, probably half the class does a 411, the other half does not. Is that about right? So here's mine. I carry mine everywhere I go, in my little briefcase. I'm getting better at this. Trust me, I wasn't like this at the very beginning. But I've got my little one thing planner that gives me the a paper calendar guide, okay? And it provides a place for notes. But what is always in my one thing planner is my updated 411. Let's see if I can get this right. So we've made our own, branded, and there's our goals, and I've color coded mine to show it means it's in my brain, it means different things, but it's red is the most crucial. That's the listings that I need to take every month. Green is money driven. Yellow is family, and orange is personal. Okay. So that's what my 411 looks like. It doesn't have to look like this, and there's no wrong 411, okay? The fact is that you're doing them is what's important, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn to page 7 in your participant guide. There's a digital copy of the 411 included in your toolkit as well. So if you like this and you wanna, or if you even like mine, I'll send you mine. You just take my logo off of it. It's just a matter of deleting it. Put your name up there. I don't care. It's in spreadsheet form. So how to use the 411. You're going to identify one of the 5 triangles from the Envision Your Big Life activity, the bubbles. Okay, just pick one of them. While all the elements of the big life are important, suggest that they select one. So you're going to select one, and then you can repeat this for, like I said, you can either stick them all on 1411, or you can have a 411 for each bubble. There is no wrong way of doing that. Okay. And so what would you need to do to achieve this goal, to make this a part of their big life possible? For example, how much do you need to make this year in order to survive, plus how much extra is needed to pay off student loans, if that was one of the bubbles you were, right, identifying. So you're going to take that annual goal, you're going to chunk it down into months, and then further into weeks, so that you can see what are the most important things that you have to do just week by week. And you're just going to slowly knock all those things out. Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
So for our annual goals, being that we're in October right now, should I adjust that to end in December and start back over in January? Or should I do it from October to October?
So Laura's question is that since we're in the late in the year in October, what do I do? Do I just reset and do the last couple of months, the last quarter? Do I just go then from October to October as my 12-month rolling? It's not that important. The fact that you're actually doing it, and you're going to, your life is not going to know the difference in whether you started your goals in October or in January. The results in your life are not going to know the difference. What they will know the difference is if you stopped doing them. If you've stopped doing the activities that get you the bigger life to work towards your goal, that's when you're going to realize that nothing's working. Your body, your life, the people around you, your family, they're not going to know whether you started goals in October or started them in wherever else, right? So just start them. What the good thing is that what I would suggest is October is business planning month. Okay. And there's a reason why these classes are falling in this month. There's a reason why business planning clinic being held somewhere in the region is good. So are we. Is it in Baton Rouge? Yeah, it's in Baton Rouge. We're coming to see you, Cindy. We're coming to see you, Cindy. Oh, we're going to LaBerge? Okay. So, there's business planning clinic that you can sign up for virtually or in person. But October is business planning month. So right now, you should be looking forward to 2021. You should be finalizing what you can finalize in this year. So I guess to answer your question specifically, you just need to finish this year out as best as you can, okay? What I would redirect your focus and your energy on would be to take the month of October, maybe one day a week, and I know we're already in the first week, so let's make it Fridays, right? So we haven't missed anything. Every Friday for half a day, you're going to commit to yourself or your team to focus on what are my big rocks? What are my goals, right? I'm sorry, I did that backwards. What are my goals? What are my big rocks in order to get to those goals? How does that look on a 411, looking at it annually, monthly, and weekly? Then you could even go and chop it up in the days. You can chop it up in the minutes. Depends on how focused you want to get. I guarantee you, Gary Keller's calendar has little bits of meetings by the minute. I've got 15 minutes with him, and I've got a 5-minute walk down the hall, and then a 15-minute with her, and then a 2-minute lunch, or whatever, like a 2-minute bathroom break. Like the people who have their lives nailed down by the minute or by the day or by the week or by the month, those people are focused. They've got goals. They're doing it, right? And that's how you get to those. If that's where you want to go, that's how you get there. There is no other way. Extreme focus, goal setting. So you've got, a 411 that you're going to take and finish out the rest of this. You can finish out the rest of this year, but then focus on all of 2021. for the rest of this month, or in this month, I should say. Okay, so don't lose focus. Here's the reality. The day-to-day life of a successful agent is very repetitive. They know what their routine produces the result. They know that their routine produces the results they need to live the life they want. Often, that's not enough to make them love the grind. There are many of you in this room, including me, once you start seeing your work pay off, will love the grind. You will enjoy honing your systems and skills to compete at the highest level. There are others of you in this room who will never love the grind, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you're doomed to fail. Even those of you who find you love the grind will have those days when you need more of a push to motivate yourself. I want you to give yourself something, I want to give you something for those times. I'm going to ask you to do something that may feel silly at first, but is a crucial part of building careers worth having, businesses worth owning, and lives worth living. So you need to affirm your big life. So on page 8, or your participant guide, we're going to create ourselves a little ritual. So think back to your big life and your goals you've set for yourself. Think about one of those people or causes that you named as something you care deeply about. I want you to use that person or thing you care about to create an affirmation. You're going to say that affirmation aloud whenever you begin a new task. The key to creating a powerful affirmation is to be specific. Tie the activity you are doing to the greater goal and remind yourself why your work matters. So an example would be, let's say part of your big life is ensuring your mom is well cared for as she ages. And let's say that one way you want to do that is to help her pay off her house. So I want you to write an affirmation that will say out loud before every call you make as you lead generate, I'm making this call to provide my mom by paying off her house because she provided for me and I want to show her I appreciate her. That's pretty powerful, right? I'm making this call to provide for my mom by paying off her house because she provided for me and I want to show her I appreciate it. I'm making this call to provide for my mom by paying off her house because she provided for me and I want to show her I appreciate it. Right? You say that enough times, you're like, ah, run through a wall. And then you just pick up the phone, beep, 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 right? And it gives you that energy to make that call. And you are focused on why you are doing it. And the likelihood that even if the lady or the guy on the other side of the phone hangs up on you, that you're going to quit, you're going to go, ha! You're going to call them back and go, oh, we must have gotten disconnected. I apologize. No, I hung up on you. Well, let me tell you why I'm calling you, right? Or lead right into it. So having those affirmations, being able to tell yourself that before you go lead generate, definitely going to help. Look, Laura's got her affirmations. She's holding up note cards. Good job, Laura.
And it's funny because I did these a few weeks ago based on the 411 and everything that I just did in that bubble. And
they're all aligning
they're
still.
all aligning, all of them.
Yeah. It's a weird, wild, wacky thing. It's pretty cool. You put it out there and you actually start focusing on it. It actually starts happening. Read the quote. Accountable people achieve results others can only dream of. How many of you have written an affirmation? How many of you have written down on your notes? As soon as class is done, I'm writing affirmations, right? Hold yourself accountable. Do those things. Write the note cards, right? The more you plug into these activities, what Laura was just saying, I don't know if you heard her or not, but she was just saying, like, basically, I'm sitting here pulling out these note cards because you're sitting there telling me about my affirmations. And the funny thing is I'm realizing that they're aligning with exactly what I was talking about or doing the other week. And it's like, that's because you're living it and you're breathing it, you're doing it, you're putting it out there, you're focused on it, and all of a sudden the results are showing up. So goals without accountability are just wishes. Who's ever heard of that? We're more likely to do what we said we're going to do if we know we must answer to someone. So whoever has that, like, whoever has those nights where they're like, I don't know, whether you're like, there's a party or an event and you're feeling kind of introverted and you're like, I'm not going, I'll blow it off or whatever. But if you told somebody you were going there, or if you said, I'll see you there, all of a sudden you're like, all right, I have to do it. I got to do it. And it was something that is really not that bad, but you just didn't feel like doing it. You have to do it. So you hold yourself, the accountability works the same way. It works it's even more intense when you aim it towards business. You know, if I went to Natasha and said, Natasha, look, every day I want you to check in on me, or every other day, or whenever you think about it, or whenever you see me, I should have made blank amount of calls by blank amount of this time. And you know that if you see me running around the kitchen, right, and it's 12 o'clock, and you're like, hey, did you make your calls? No, it didn't. Or I'm going to be like, I won't even come out of my office because I'm going to see Natasha, right? It's those things like I can't even come out because if I see Natasha out there, she's going to ask me if I did my call and I can't say that I did. I got to stay in here. I got to make some more calls. Bang, 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 bang. Right? It's
Thank you,
just
Laura.
that one little thing. Yeah. You want to start holding me accountable?
Laura does that to me.
Oh, okay. Well, good. That's good. And that's awesome. That's really good, Laura. That will make you and good. You need to feed it right back to her, Natasha. And then when you see Vinny, you pull Vinny and say, Vinny, what's one of your goals this week? And Vinny's going to have to tell you. And then you're going to have to go check up on Vinny because you care and you love about him. You love him. Care about him and you love him. Said all that kind of together. So, you know, what I want y'all to do is to, you know, find accountability partners. It's a great segue into exactly what the manual's going to tell me to tell y'all. Find accountability partners, because when you have that accountability partner, try not to do, like, good friends work sometimes, but most of the time y'all end up BSing and letting each other off the hook. You got to really find someone who really has, you know, no other vested interest in than to just make sure that you are actually focusing. It's not the reason to get together so we can then go BS over coffee.
Weekly accountability meetings too.
Weekly accountability meetings with groups. Yep. If you don't want to have a partner, like a single person, do it in groups. In fact, groups is probably a better idea because you get more of a spectrum of feedback, right? And you might have someone who might let you slide, but you might needed it that day because that day was really hard. But then you're going to have someone like Laura is going to come in there and crack the whip and not let you skip by on an inch, and you needed that too. So
I do Michelle Thompson, and she cracks that whip.
yeah, well, Michelle's no joke. If y'all go to Michelle's accountability sessions, she's no joke. She's gonna, and I love it because she set rules and there's no BSing, there's no talking. Oh, we're not talking about business? Then get out, right? It's just like, it's bam, 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 because I've got things to do. She's a highly successful team leader, highly successful real estate agent, highly successful market center investor. I wonder why. Seriously, because she sets goals and she holds herself accountable and others. So thank you all for your hard work today. I hope you're feeling empowered to reach some of your goals. I didn't depress you too bad. But we're going to recap. So on ahas, what about today was eye-opening? What about today really made you go, you know what, I'm ready to rock and roll? And I want an answer from everyone. Nobody's getting out of here without an answer.
I'll jump in. So I've already made my sign to hang up. And this shows me how many phone calls I have to make a day to reach my appointments so that I remember why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yep. Some people do like some people do little color dots, you know, just like like the old school Bold 1.0, you used to have the little houses, right? And that was a fun thing for me. Like I got excited about coming there to stick that sticker on there. Look at everybody, bang, 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 bang. This is the competitive nature in me, right? And so do stickers. I know Is it Jason Lipscomb? I can't remember. One of the people who do an obnoxious amount of units. They fill their wall up with sticky notes.
Yep, houses.
Or houses, like house sticky notes. Or Lewis used to do that, right? It was somebody.
I have it in my office.
Yeah, the little sticky notes and put in a house for every sale. Whatever gets you excited about it, put that's a system. That's a system. It may seem elementary, but it's a system. You go there, you look at it, you go, I'm behind or I'm a front. And then you get some sort of reward by doing that, right? So what else? Vinny, what's your aha?
I really probably need to put up like a vision board, because like when I was doing the 401 months ago, I had it all down, and it got put somewhere, and it's not in front of me every single day. So I got kind of off of what I need to do every day. So I need to do something like that. I think that'll help a lot.
That discipline is definitely, Vinny, let me ask you, how do you calendar your day? How do you track your day? How do you remind yourself that Ignite is on Friday at 9?
I have a paper calendar right on my desk that I look at every morning.
Okay.
That I put stuff that's coming up, what I need to do for the day.
Okay, and you check that every morning. It's a ritual of yours.
I look at it every morning, yes.
Okay. So I would build something around that. So I would put your motivation, whatever you've dug. Here's what you need to do, Vinny, and what it sounds like is what you need to do. I guess let me rephrase that, because I don't know everything that's going on. But it sounds like you get into the activity, you enjoy it, but you don't revisit it.
That's correct.
So it's going to be, I think with you, it's going to be the discipline of revisiting it more often. So if it's putting it right on that paper calendar, right at the top of every month, your motivation, or a reminder, have you done your 411 today or this week? You need to carry it around. Like, Vinny, I'm not joking. Like, I carry mine everywhere. Like, mine goes with me everywhere. And if I think of something, I go, ooh, and I change it or I mark it off, right? And then you can put all your 80% to-do tasks on the back to not forget, right? And so this is my paper calendar, sort of, like it's a high-tech to-do list that understands what are the most important things on said to-do list. And yet I have something that I won't forget that I needed to do that, right? For a certain client or an agent or a teammate. You can put all that on there, right? But you're revisiting it, you're looking at it. I think with you, you need to get into the discipline of daily looking at it, daily putting that motivation in front of you, so that, and look, it's an elephant. You got to eat it one bite at a time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's your aha, Laura?
That it's okay to aim big and not necessarily achieve that big goal, but knowing that I've already reached smaller goals, that maybe next year it'll help me to get to that big goal.
Right. Okay. So what Laura said was, to be unapologetic about aiming extremely high, right? You don't need to be sorry. Here's two things that I've learned in leadership here, is that if you do not set some standards and become extremely unapologetic about said standards, as long as they're moral standards, right? As long as you're not, but if the standard is you have to have a 411 before you get into the team meeting, that's the standard. And if you show up and you don't have your 411, you can run and go do it, but you're not coming in the door and you're not participating. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And there's nothing wrong with holding your standards on how you run your business. It's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, title company, I surely don't appreciate this. Happened to us the other day, and I was unapologetic about it. And I don't care if they don't like me, because I won't send them any more business if they continue to treat me this way. I had 4 emails, 4 of them, because what the funny thing was is it infuriated Carrie, our assistant, more than me. Infuriated her. She was so mad. But I said, honey, don't apologize for nothing. I said, bite their head off and I'll come back and bite their head off too. What they did was we had clearly let them know that our sellers needed a certain time and date, like closing day, but we needed the second half. It could not be the first half. And, you know, it was communicated to them multiple times. Everybody knew it on the system. But you know what? Title company said, I'm just going to slot you in where I fit you. Well, you know, if I just gave you the file and I gave you no instruction about it, you know, about preference, and you just want to slot me in at 4:30 on the 30th, because that's where it works for you, that's on me. But when I sent you the file, right, before you even knew you had a deal to do with me, I included the instruction in which I needed. And I don't do this every time, so I know I'm not being overstepping, right? I just need you, hey, pay attention. This is where I need it, right? This is what's going to make everybody happy, not just you. And they didn't do it, and they ignored it. And there was multiple times where we reminded them this has to be a certain part of the day, and they didn't do it. So unapologetically, hold your standards. Don't be mad because the way that somebody, a component of how you're running your business is not working anymore. Well, I guess we're just not using that title company anymore. And I don't apologize for it. I'm just going to use the next guy who listens to me. Because guess what? They all have the same title insurance and they all have roughly the same quotes. You're going to get my business for how I think you should treat me, and I'm unapologetic about it. And so there's no reason for someone to be, you know what? Oh man, I don't know if I should be reaching that high. Like, is that even possible? No, go do it. That's you. So any more ahas? Cindy, what was your aha? I'll get off my soapbox about that damn title company. Cindy, you there? Anybody else who's listening? All right, 3, 2, 1, you're done with your ahas. I'm closing it up. All right. So turn to page 9 in your participant guide. The goal of our time together here is to help you think, feel, act, and use what you've learned to ignite your passion and to help you achieve your big why. What I want y'all to do is I want you to write down your ahas for each category: think, feel, and act. Okay. What I want you to do is, I know you shared them, but I want you to write either yours or your classmates' aha. Okay, and just writing it down, just what that does is just, it's going to sear it a little harder into your memory. And there's nothing wrong with keeping a large file of ahas. You don't want to ever get rid of them. So write them down, okay? Go back and revisit them. What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful to you today? How will your behavior be going forward, you know?
You can change mine.
Oh yeah, no, everything can be changed. Everything's fluid in this, right? Goals are not etched in stone. Goals are not etched in stone. Your ideas are not etched in stone. You are free to make your own choice at any given time, whether it's the 11th hour or after you've already wrote it down. It's okay. You change your mind, change your mind. Just go focus on it.
Sticking with me more than anything right now is to stay disciplined in order to stay focused.
Yep. She said, stay disciplined in order to stay focused, which is true. They work hand in hand. What tools and models or systems will you want to take back and use? Is the 411 something that you're going to go, you know what? Vinny's going, you know what? I'm going to do that 411 and I'm going to do it and I'm not going to stop. And I'm going to do it every day, or I'm going to do it. I'm going to look at it every day, or I'm going to write something on it every day. Just do something, get into action. I think if you're not taking daily action, if you're not taking daily action towards these things, you're going to forget, you're going to distract it. You're just going to let them, I'll get to it when I get to it. Nope. Look at it daily. Okay, so we know this one. We talked about it earlier. I think it's time to probably for y'all to take the rest of the class. Well, let's take just let's just take 10 minutes in class to maybe try to get some of your 10-10, 10-4 done today. Has anyone not done their 10 contacts, 10 conversations, 10 handwritten notes, 10 home previews? Has anyone not done that today? Come on, I didn't do it. I woke up and came straight here. I didn't do it. All right, so what I would like for y'all to do is to take just 10 minutes, just put together who you're gonna contact, like just scale it out of who you're gonna attack today. You don't have to go get them done, right? Yeah, obviously in these few minutes, but get a strategy together, who you're gonna contact, how you're gonna do it. Make a strategy for who you're gonna attack today. All right. A few more minutes. Okay, anybody need any more time to kind of put together on who they're going to attack today, who they're going to strategize, and put together in a group and say, these are the people I'm going to lead generate today. And look, if that's the only thing you do today to put things in motion for next week, it's better than not. It's better than closing the laptop and going to go do something else, right? Find 10 people that you want to check on to make sure that they got they're batting down the hatches, right, for the hurricane. Call 10 people. I just want to check on you. Doing okay? You don't need anything, right? Okay. Oh, Vinny, it was great hearing from you. It's good hearing from you too. I got a couple more people I want to call, check on them. I'm just glad you don't need anything. You need anything else? We need to get, and then you close and you'll be like, you know what? We need to get together next week. Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to set nothing. You just need to get the idea. You need to put it in their head. You know, we need to get together next week. Well, I'm gonna call you next week. I'm gonna set the expectation. I'm gonna call you next week. That's how it, like, you don't have to be, hi, do you have property to buy or sell or invest today, right? Just be natural. Just go be their friend, be generally interested in them, check on them, care call, right? That's it. I know, easier said than done, but if you're setting your goals, you know the numbers you got to hit. You've identified your big rocks. You've developed affirmations, right, before you do it. You've now got a list of people to call. Just knock it out. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to add anything? Does anyone think that I didn't say something or do enough? Anything? Like, does anybody have anything to add to it? Because we're getting to the end of it, and we're going to let you out about an hour early. Nothing? Who's pumped up to go work? Yeah, there we go. Smiles and thumbs up. I like it. I like it. I like it. Go make those calls today. Make sure you focus on doing the 20% that's going to get you the 80% of results. You know, and that could be on who you call. Remember I was saying earlier, we like to identify people who we think are influencers in the community. So if they own a company that is widely known and that have employees, and I'm not talking like Justin Bieber influencer, like y'all get this, right? I'm not talking Instagram influencer. I'm talking someone who influences the community naturally off of social media. Social media you can use that as your identifier as well, but big business owners, people who volunteer a lot, those are the people that are influencing, whether they know it or not, they're influencing the people around them. And if you can identify those people go immediately into the 20% category. Because if you can get to them, you'll get to the 80% below. Does that make sense? So let me just give you an example. You've got a wealthy businesswoman who owns her own company and she has 10 employees. If you can gain the business of that one business owner, you've got every lick of business of those employees once it comes around, because you don't even need to be in the office anymore. They're going to be thinking about real estate or mention something real estate. And guess who they go ask? The boss, who obviously is successful and has things that they aspire to have. Hey, who do you use? Just like reinventing the wheel. I told you, don't go try to reinvent the wheel. Just go follow other people and see what they're doing and go do it. It's sort of the same thing. You get that person's business, they go, who do you use? And they go, Laura. And they go, okay, you got Laura's number? Yeah, I'll send it to you. Okay, that's it, done. Laura just gets this fall in your lap, come list me client. That is looking at lead generation and going, where's my 20%? Where's my 20% in lead generation? If I'm not going to call people and I'm only going to get in front of them, I better be getting in front of the most important people I can get in front of, because what that does is it trickles down. So that's how we try to have, trust me, we're not getting the business of every major business, you know, we're not selling real estate to every major business owner around here, but that is something that guides us as we're looking around. We're like, hey, come meet so-and-so. He's the so-and-so. I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? Can I do anything for you? Like, bam, 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 let me get that business. So unapologetically, right? Just go find those people, narrow them down, attack them.
I did that just this morning, actually. An old friend of mine that I reunited with on Facebook, a childhood friend of mine, found out that he is now a divorce and family law attorney.
There you go.
Out in Slidell. So we have plans to do lunch, and he is going to use me for.
Divorce attorneys are great leverage.
Yes.
That's what Laura was saying. I don't know if you could hear her. She reconnected with a childhood friend and found out that he or he is now a divorce attorney, and is like, hey, let's do lunch. That's real. And
Unfortunately, it's real, but it's
well, I mean, it's more than 50% of all marriages. So I mean, it's like,
yeah.
You can go, you're getting one, you're not, you're getting one, you're not. And so you go, that is the 20%. That's 20% lead gen. Where's that divorce attorney? Where's that succession attorney? Developing those vendor relationships with them. You know, that one lunch could materialize into 3 deals throughout the year. Hopefully they're amicable, right? Because I don't know how many divorces you've ever worked with. Some of them are nasty and they're not fun.
Been divorced twice.
Well, I know, but handling the real estate between 2 other people is completely different. So, you know, that's a great way. So, again, succession, people are dying, unfortunately. So yeah, that's a way of looking at that in lead gen. Okay. Anything else? Everybody's good? About to go make some phone calls. Natasha's biting her fingernail, trying to get off of here to go get on the phone. All right. Well, I'm done. I think I've delivered everything I should have delivered. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. I apologize. I'm sorry?
I'm setting up an appointment. Sorry.
No, girl, don't. What did I tell you? No apologizing. Not for that. Not for that. Unapologetically roll through your business.
I'm writing it off.
Good. Good. Laura's writing an offer. Set appointments, write offers, follow up. All right. Y'all have a wonderful week. Revisit your goals daily. Remember, daily, 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 daily. Affirmations, daily. Reprogram yourself into these habits, and all of a sudden you'll start seeing things click a little bit better. All right. Have a great day. I'm bailing off of here. And stop share. And y'all have a wonderful day. I love all of y'all.
You too, Nick. Bye.
You too, be safe.
Y'all as well.